Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brad Lone Wolf, and today's video is the second part of a two-parter that follows on from last week's Superfeet insole video. Now, for those of you that have watched that video, you know what this video is about. And for those of you that haven't, obviously you probably read the title, so you know what the video is going to be about anyway. And it's these. The Salomon Kynthos walking shoes. Now, these, as many of you know, I am a fan of Salomon shoes. The reason being is they fit me perfectly out of the box, absolutely perfectly out of the box, which is why I've stuck with Salomon for the best part of 20 years now. There will be some people that will say, well, Salomon's no good. We'll sort of discuss that as the video goes on. As many of you also know, with Salomon, they have a softer rubber compound on their soles, which means that their soles wear out quicker. That is true. And many of you will also be aware the last pair of Salomons that I got were the XA Pro 3Ds, which I actually have a video on in the channel from a couple of years ago. Now, they've actually worn out, as you could probably imagine. So I've had to replace them, and I've gone for the Kynthos. The Kynthos, they cost me £65. I actually got them in a sale. Normally retail, I think it's £130, but I managed to get them for £65, which is a bargain considering considering some of the features that you get on these shoes. So, without further ado, some of you will already know that I've had the shoes out, so this isn't really an unboxing video. I've had the shoes out, I've put the Superfeet insoles in them, so I'll get these shoes out now and I will take you through some of the features and what I think about them and whether I recommend them or not. I don't think it's going to be much of a surprise to say that I wouldn't recommend these shoes, but there is a good reason for it. So let's swap cameras and we'll have a look at the shoes themselves. Okay, so here's the shoes. The Salomon Kynthos. As you can see, I've already put the Superfeet insoles in there. So why these shoes? Well, as I say, they cost me £65, down from £130. And that is the primary reason. I actually got these cheaper than I got my XA Pros. So that's the primary reason. The features on these shoes, though, some good, some bad, some indifferent, and some are just a personal choice. So the good features on these shoes, well, I say good feature, it's actually a mixed bag. They are Gore-Tex lined. So for those people that aren't aware, which would be, I should imagine, very few of you, Gore-Tex is a waterproof breathable lining, and it is designed and guaranteed to keep you dry over a longer period of time than some of the other waterproof membranes out there. Disadvantage with Gore-Tex or Gore-Tex shoes, two main things that are disadvantage to Gore-Tex shoes. One, and I mentioned this a couple of times, if you look at the height of a shoe, even a Gore-Tex shoe or even a Gore-Tex boot, sorry, once you get into a puddle or a stream of water deeper than that, your foot's going to get wet. Obviously with a boot it's much higher, but you step into something water deeper than that, your foot's going to get wet. If your foot gets wet or water gets inside the shoe, as many of you will know, Gore-Tex shoes take a lot longer to dry out. It's just the nature of the beast. They take a lot longer to dry out than non-waterproof pair of shoes do. Swings and roundabouts, really is swings and roundabouts. If you go for a non-waterproof shoe, whatever puddle you go through, whatever stream, whatever depth of water you go into, your foot's going to get wet. but the shoe will dry out quicker. If you go into water with a Gore-Tex shoe, your foot's going to stay dry up to the point, obviously, where it comes over the top, but it takes longer to dry out. Moving on slightly to some more of the more positive features. Nice rubber toe box there to keep out the worst of any scuffs or scrapes or bangs that you could get on your toe. That rubber toe box does extend. It's actually got a slight lip there. It comes down underneath the shoe itself to give you a bit more stability. The soles on the bottom are the standard Contra Grip Salomon soles, so they don't have the same wear endurance as something with Vibram rubber, but the advantage of the Contra Grip soles is that they've got a bit more grip than Vibram rubber, and obviously that's because they are a softer rubber. On the downside, as I've already mentioned, and you probably already know, they do wear out quicker. That's just the nature of the beast. And again, swings and roundabouts. Moving on to the slight negatives of these shoes. Now, I've just had these out the box. I've put the insoles in, as you already know. What is disturbing me slightly is the join between the sole and the upper appears to be just glue. Now that worries me slightly, in that glue isn't as strong as stitching. However, stitching obviously puts more holes in your shoes. So again, swings and roundabouts. Now, I'm not saying that this is a cheap way out. I'm not saying this makes the shoes any cheaper. But it is just something to be aware of when it comes to any shoe, any boot, any shoe. Most manufacturers now, they do glue rather than find another way of bonding the sole to the upper. But if anything's going to fail, it's probably going to be that. I'm not saying it will fail, I'm just saying it might. In terms of the laces, I'm going to cut these tags off before we move on. Oh no, dangerous knife, dangerous knife. He's a danger to everybody, he's got a knife. In terms of the laces, I actually prefer these types of laces over the XAs. You can get a much better custom fit, custom tightness around your foot, and they tend not to stretch with the thousands of times that you're going to pull the laces tight, loosen them off, tighten them, loosen them off, tighten them, loosen them off. With this type of lace as well, they are far easier to replace than the ones on the XAs, the speed laces. I have always preferred this type of lacing system. There's nothing wrong with the lacing system, with the speed lacing system on the XAs. I just prefer this type because it gives you a much better fit. The downside to this, however, is, and this isn't a me thing, downside to this type of lace is people are lazy and will just end up tucking them inside. I've seen it done. I've seen it done for a variety of reasons, and I'm not going to disrespect anybody who can't tie their laces, but there's people that can't tie their laces, and there's people who are just lazy. No disrespect if you can't tie laces, that's fine. There's obviously other systems out there for you to tighten your shoes, to do your shoes up. And for those people that are just lazy, well, that's your choice at the end of the day. So, that's a brief overview of the Salomon Kynthos. Obviously, I haven't worn these yet, so I can't tell you how good they are in terms of fit, in terms of comfort. Would I recommend these to you, however? The answer to that is going to be no. The reason being is not because of the price, or the normal retail price of £130, but it's to do with fit. Everybody has a different shaped foot, and everybody will fit different shoes. For example, I've already mentioned it, Salomon fit me absolutely perfectly. Their biggest rivals, Merrell, don't. They do not fit me at all. They've always felt uncomfortable on my feet. That does not mean that Merrell are a bad company, however. They're not. They're actually a really good company. It's just that they don't fit my feet. So I cannot recommend a pair of shoes to you based on my foot shape. That's it. That's the only reason that I wouldn't recommend these to you, is because everybody fits shoes differently. Or yeah, footwear differently. But with that being said, I hope that gives you a good overview of the Kynthos. And obviously, as time goes on and I wear these, I'll probably, if I remember, make a follow-up video about whether these are any good or not. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. It is very much appreciated, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.